to the Splash Live, a show dedicated to the greater West Bloomfield community. I'm Ronnie Dahl, your guide on this adventure today. We want to say thank you for waking up. I hope you had plenty of coffee or Red Bull to get you going this morning, because we have a fun show, and it starts talking about art. If you're in search of unique art to turn your home into a showplace, head to Pontiac. The city's popular art crawl is back on the schedule, and shops and artists are already gearing up for the big event. So you want to add it to your calendar. And including some of those artists and those shop owners, April Ogg. She's with the Saginaw Street Consignments. Good morning, Miss April. How are you?
Good morning. I'm bright and wide awake for the show. For having me.
Hey, April, it's always fun having you, because when we talk about art, I think about your shop. You have so many unique pieces, and I think for so many of us stuck in our homes through the pandemic, we want our homes to be comfortable, but we don't want them to be cookie cutter. So what is art?
Well, art comes in many forms, and as you see, I have a little bit behind me more sculptural. We have some beautiful statues, glass is art, and I also have this beautiful wall piece that's a floral metal sculpture on the wall that could also be hung from the ceiling.
Wow, I'm looking at that. That is really cool. Like, if you put that in your house, it's a talker, right?
Yeah, it's actually I have it mounted kind of on an angle, but it's 4 feet by 6 feet scale wise. So it might look small there, but it takes up a nice large space. So it could be a very attractive and transform a room. And that's what art can do for you as well.
So April, I was watching that, what is it, Antiques on the Road show? I forget the name of it. It's on PBS or something. And I'm looking, and every time I go into your store, I'm like, ooh, is this something I can get for $10 and it's really worth like $5 million?
Yeah, we talked about that before, and I do try to do as much investigation on all of my art. And but we do have people that you know, for estates and that they want to maybe sell or give up items that their folks have had, or they choose that, you know, it's not their style. So like these photographs behind me, this is a Cass Corridor parking lot right here, 2 photographs done by a Cass Corridor artist. And so above it, we have a signed lithograph. It might be a little hard to see. So they were very expensive to begin with, and the people might not want them. And so you can get original signed artwork at half the cost here. So that's the best part of it. So it might not be a dime or $1, and it's worth $10,000, but you can still get good value.
And can I ask you too, because you have such a unique, eclectic eye, and you know how to make things kind of a showpiece and make it a talker. And so when we're talking about art, like, how does someone pick it? How do you help people pick out art?
Well, art is very specific to the person. So you either have the type of person, if they know what they want, they're a collector. So they might collect metal sculptures. They might collect stone work type abstracts. So that person usually comes in, they'll call, or they'll continue to be on a list. So if items come in, I can call them. But other clients, they want something that maybe matches their interior. So you'll also have that. They might not want to spend $500 on a piece, but could get an attractive piece for a couple $100 that might transform or go along with the colors in their in one of their rooms. The other person is coming in, and they might not know what they want, but they have to wait till a piece grabs them. Like, for instance, this wall metal sculpture here is by a mid-century artist, Curtis Scherer, and this is titled Aquarium. So somebody might just come in and say, that's the perfect piece to put on my patio for the summer or in my kitchen. So there's a bunch of different types of people and what they look for, really.
I know, and I love. Like, I'm not a mid-century person, but I know it's making this huge comeback right now, and some of these pieces are very expensive, like chairs and things of that nature. So I feel like when you go into your store, I get a little overwhelmed because I'm like, where do I look, because you have so many cool pieces, but it's trying to take it and say, hey, can this work in my home? But what I like is it's unique. It's a piece to talk about. It's a story behind it. And so therefore, and we're sorry, because we asked April to be on her phone so she could kind of walk us through the show, because we're talking about art, and art is everything. So we appreciate you doing this for us this morning. But so with that too, it doesn't have to be big pieces. It doesn't have to be something that you hang. It can just be those little mementos that you set on a shelf, right?
Yes, staging is important, and I try to keep there's a lot of stuff. There's over 5,000 items here, so I try to stage the items so that people can, when they come in, the customers can see how they can use them in their own space. They can pick and choose. You can have little arrangements. Obviously, this is not a minimalistic spot here. I have to try to get everything in at once. But for instance, these little tiny birds here, these are indigenous birds to Africa. They were done by an artist. They're actually little flower pods, and then hand painted to look like the different birds there. So this person, customer of mine, had traveled to Africa many times, and most of her items all were from artists from Africa or Black American artists. So we have a variety of cultural type of art as well, like this Asian wall hanging behind me. It's done with Mangjang tiles, and it was in it spells out blessing. It comes with papers. It's straight from Hong Kong. And so you can also find, that would be a great gift for a wedding. So you can also find wonderful gifts, whether they're, you don't want to buy a large piece of art for your friend, but you want to find a unique piece that's not going to be anywhere, just in a local store.
I love that you mentioned gifts, because I feel like the art season in the summer is a time that you buy gifts for people, because that's where you get your very unique items that have a story behind them, but you know, it's going to mean something to the people. They're not going to take it and give it in the white elephant Christmas gift a few months from now, right? Like, it's something that is going to be a part of their life and their history, because I feel like now we're kind of a throwaway society, but if we can get these very unique pieces, they can be passed on from generation to generation. I love those birds, by the way. I'm already thinking like, oh, who can I buy those for? Like, I know, I have family members that are big bird people. That's a perfect gift.
Yes, and so budget is also something, though, I'd like to touch on. Don't be afraid to talk about your budget when you go shopping, and especially in consignment stores, where, I like to help my customers. I want each customer to have the best piece for them, and I can work with you, but as long as I know the budget, then I can try to arrange things and also give you discounts on the prices that I have to fit in your budget and get you the happiest, satisfaction of when you either place that item. I have all my customers that buy my products here, the resale items, they all send me pictures and thank me and show me how they use it in their own home.
And if I can ask you too, because I know we're about out of time, but your jewelry, because you make jewelry, and we are talking about, the big art festival that's going to be coming up, but it's not until July. But one of the things they need, artists, and so you don't only sell art, but you also make art.
Yes, I'll be having, we'll have some of my jewelry here, and I know that there's a couple other artists that have jewelry, so I'll be having all of that as well on July 22nd for the art crawl. as well as throughout the summer. We're going to have, we have a new art commission in Pontiac, and they're putting together some wonderful weekend events. So trying to get people back down to shop now that we have a few places that are opening up, and we have buildings that we can house other artists in.
That is so great. Hey, April, it's always fun having you on the show. Anything maybe I didn't ask that you want to add?
No, just getting the word out just to come on down and shop. We're building this shopping district up, and we're going to have these wonderful events this summer. So please call the shop here. If you can't make it on my normal hours, I'm more than happy to come down on different appointments and make an appointment for you and work into your schedule.
And the name of your shop and the address?
Saginaw Street Consignments, downtown Pontiac. Free parking on the street, 150 North Saginaw Street. And the phone number is 248-333-0083.
April, thank you so much. And you kind of said the magic words there too, free parking, right? Whenever you go to these downtown areas, thank you again. It's so fun having you on, and I love everything you have in your store. And again, when you go in, just be prepared to spend some time, because every time you go in, you see something new. So thank you so much, April.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Okay, again, the Pontiac Arts Crawl is Friday, July 22nd. So a little bit of time, but if you're an artist, go onto their website. They want to hear from you. And of course, just a reminder, each week we like to highlight someone from the greater West Bloomfield community going above and beyond to improve our little corner of the world. Show your gratitude. Tell us about them. We've made it pretty darn easy. Scan the QR code here on the screen and fill out the Google form with the person's contact info and why you think they should be recognized. It can be a person, business, or an organization. You can also find the form by going to civiccentertv.com. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine. To keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Taking a quick look about some things happening around a town. One of my most favorite events of the year, the Friends of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, holding its spring used book sale. It starts Friday, June 3rd. And goes until Sunday, June 5th. The Friday hours, 7 to 9 p.m. Now, that's for the Friends preview sale. Non-members may join, though, at the door for $10 a person. The regular hours for the public, Saturday will be 9 to 5, Sunday noon to 5. And get ready, because Sunday is $5 bag day. That's typically when I go. I always wonder how many people still have DVD players, because they have everything that you can imagine there. Old school albums, so many different things, and the old school books, which we like as well. Hey, also want to let you know you can expand your garden and help preserve Mother Nature's natural beauty, and you can do it for free. We like that word. Free native plant kit registration opens yesterday, June 1st. It's still going on. It's part of the county's Native Plant Initiative to help protect the environment. You can register at events.anr.msu.edu. I know, /Oakland Plants to. It's long. Just Google it. You'll find it. Pickup is going to be June 11th and June 12th. Also, we want to let you know that this weekend, June 4th, is National Trails Day. And to celebrate, the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Commission has organized a self-guided walk at Marshbank Park in the West Bloomfield Trail. There will be nature education signs along the way and a naturalist to answer your nature questions. It's going to be starting at 8 a.m. You can find out more at the West Bloomfield Parks. And we'll be talking so much more about the parks here with our next guest. But for right now, you're watching The Splash Live, a show dedicated to all things West Bloomfield, Keiko Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake. And you can catch the show live Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. and on demand at civiccentertv.com. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
You know, it's peaceful, it's quiet, and the noise and stress of life can sometimes disappear.
It's the Great Lakes water, and so what people do ends up in our waterways.
It's for our health and safety, it's for our economy, it's for protecting the environment that we all enjoy and we all need to survive.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
We're all about one water in this region. We're all connected. We all have a role.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Oh, welcome back. I'm Ronnie Dahl. Right now is the absolute perfect time to get outside and take advantage of West Bloomfield's 12 parks and over 500 acres of land. And the person whose job it is to make sure everything is in tip-top shape for your enjoyment is the newly promoted Park Superintendent, Frey. Thank you so much. Hey, Mr. Recreation, how are you today?
Wow, world travels fast. Good. How are you? Good to see you again.
I think you need a shirt that says
Right.
Mr. Recreation.
Yeah, I wear a lot of shirts and hats around here, so but everybody does. It's a huge team effort to keep this place going. So.
And can we talk about that too? Because it's so big. There's so much to do,
Yes.
especially like going into the summer months. We know the parks are beautiful in the winter as well. Sledding is awesome. You are never too old to go sledding, by the way. But really, summer is your prime time. What does it take to keep the parks up in the summertime?
A lot of time, a lot of effort. There never seems to be enough time in the day or days in the week. We have 8-9 full-time park staff that do nothing but park work all day, every day. We have around 10 or 11 summer seasonal staff, and that from college folks all the way up to retired folks, doing park maintenance, doing ball field preparations, soccer field preparations, getting cricket fields ready to go. We're mowing, we're cleaning restrooms, we're setting up shelters for parties and things like that on weekends. We're helping the rec staff do special events like the one you just mentioned a couple minutes ago this weekend, National Trails Day. So we have some trail stuff going this weekend. So we are here basically from 6, some of us get here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we don't leave till 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week.
Okay, we need to talk about that. We need to get you some time off. But can I ask you, how are you guys doing on staffing right now? Everyone is struggling. Are you okay in that area?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely struggling. But we're doing okay. We have, like I said, we have about 10 or 11 right now. We're getting by. When we have somebody off or on vacation, we just kind of shuffle and redo what, every single morning or evening, the night before the next day or that next day, we come up with a plan And hopefully that's still stuck on the board at 7 o'clock in the morning when everybody comes in. If it doesn't, we regroup and do it something different. But for the most part, we're doing pretty good. We can always use an extra body or two, not only out in the parks, but in our camps program. We're still looking for some camp counselors and some help there. I think our splash pad's doing pretty good, but they might be able to use 1 or 2 more. But it's always up on our website. All of our job opportunities and our help wanted stuff is on our website.
I know I live alongside the West Bloomfield Trail, and when you come in, there's the big sign, hiring. Because I'm like, if I was a teenager, what a cool first job, right? Like, I'll take working outside rather than being sitting in an office somewhere.
Sure. Yeah. When people come to us for the first time, they have no idea what we do. They just think that we get to walk around the park and fly kites and do stuff. But once they're here for their first week or two, they're like, man, I didn't know all this stuff took place. And it's a lot to keep it all going.
And, you know, it's got to be hard to trying to keep ahead of Mother Nature, especially when we get a lot of rain and then you get the grass grows so quickly. But you know what? I'm going to nominate you guys to take part in No Mow May, because my husband was so down with that this year. He was like, yes, no mow May. I think you guys should say, hey, we're not going to be mowing the parks in May.
Yeah, well, we over the years, we've cut back on mowing. We've tried to make more natural areas for natives to grow. And I heard you mention the native plant sale. We just had one ourselves last week. So we are definitely trying to be green and greener every day. We have electric mowers. We have electric equipment that we use. But like I said, over the past few years, we have reduced our amount of mowing and watering to try to be a little bit greener. So we definitely try to mow less. We try to have like the sides of our trail network and some of our trails more natural, so we let them go a little bit longer. But then we start getting calls saying that, did you forget about the trail? It seems long. And, you know, we try to say, well, it's kind of a natural trail, and we kind of wanted a little bit more nature and a little bit more natural. So we don't mow it every week. We don't want it to look like this manicured thing. We want it to look like more of a nature trail. So there is some of our sports complex that we have to mow. You know, they're playing soccer and like I said, cricket and softball and stuff out there. So we have to keep those mowed nice. But we are definitely trying to scale back mowing as much as we can, but still keep things groomed and cleaned and tidy and even mosquito free as much as we can.
Well, if you could figure that out, I would love to know your secret. I will say, as someone who lives on the trail, it's in my backyard. We appreciate that the grass is actually high because they cut down so many trees and you can see directly into our backyard, but that higher grass kind of gives us a shield. So as someone who said, you're doing a good job, keep it up. We'll take the high grass. Hey, Chris, can I ask you, what are the park hours for people?
So park hours are 8 to sunset. So 8 in the morning till sunset. Obviously that kind of varies throughout the year. So, I mean, you can go on your phone. I know every day I pretty much look at a weather app probably 10 times a day, and right on my Weather Channel app, it has a sunset time. So that's a good thing to go by. But we don't all of a sudden just lock gates and throw up red flares at sunset. We kind of wait till duskish. Usually at sunset, our afternoon night guys know when that is. We'll kind of start patrolling some of the parks and just reminding people, hey folks, you know, about 15, 20 minutes, it's going to start getting dark out, and we just, you know, pack up your last things and tidy up your picnics and we got to start heading out. And so we'll slowly kind of get people out like that. But 8 to sunset is our park hours, 7 days a week.
I know it is crazy right now because I think it was 9 o'clock last night. I'm like, oh my God, the sun's still up, right? And we're just into June. Pretty soon it'll be 10. Hey, do you want to kind of give us an update as to what's happening over at Drake?
Sure. We've the last 2 years we've been doing a 3-year project. This is the 3rd year of our parking lot renovation project. So this is the last year, and unfortunately this was the toughest year because we had to close the park. We closed it back on May 12th. It was the last section. It was the entrance to the park and the main driveway. So we knew this was going to be a toughie, but they're moving right along. They've had a couple of weather days in there, but they're moving right along. We're hoping to have this thing back open. We're hoping around the 10th, 11th, 12th-ish, something like that, the first week or two of June. And again, every day that moves a little bit with weather. Like yesterday afternoon, they had some weather come through, so it slowed them down a little bit. But they were bright and early again this morning. But it's our last phase. It's our most our impactful phase, because like I said, we had to close the park, but we're moving right along. Everything should be nice and new and fresh when they're done, and we are trying to get that place open as quickly as we can.
So you're kind of like the construction. It's so painful to go through, but once it's done.
Yes, once it's done. The last two, the first and second phase were to the west and to the north, and we could keep the park open and kind of work around. But like I said, they had to pull the whole entrance out and reshape it and repave, and we just couldn't. There's only one way in and one way out of the park, and it was just too narrow to try to do 2 lanes of traffic on one side. So we just, the contractor said it's going to be faster. Believe it or not, it's going to be faster if we just shut this place down and let us in, let us out, and we'll get in and out as quick as we can. So we're halfway through this last phase, and we have meetings weekly, and we're on them. Get this done. You know, people want to get back in, and pickleball and tennis and skate park and fields and soccer and cricket and all kinds of stuff. So we're busting at the seams. We tried to move all that stuff as much as we could to other park facilities that we had that same amenities at, but we just really want to get it back open for everybody to use.
You bring up such good points too. It's better to go through the pain for a shorter term than to have it drag on.
Right.
Hey, pickleball. I went last night to Sylvan Lake. They had a pickleball clinic. We had them on the show yesterday. I had never seen it before. Do you play pickleball?
I don't play. We installed our first pickleball courts down at Drake Sports Park probably 5 years ago now, and it has been crazy busy. Nonstop down there. At any point of the park, I never knew how loud it was until I heard it in the park. At any point in that park, you can just hear nonstop clunk, 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 and they're just going. They're there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're there until they can't see anymore. It seems like 7 days a week. We have lots of classes in our Summer Pathways magazine. You can look for classes and how to learn how to play and different rank or different levels of play. So we offer that kind of stuff. Plus there's obviously open play. We do have 2 pickleball courts, the lines painted on tennis courts at Keith Sports Park. So one of the parks that are in the north section of the township. So we did that last year, and we're going to continue to keep those lines there so that we can kind of spread people out. And some of the people that are up north, they have another place to go as well. So we have pickleball at Drake and Keith, but yes, it's busy, and it's taken over relatively quickly.
I feel like I'm late to the pickleball craze. Really, it's kind of a craze right now. You just have 5 years. I'm like, why am I just hearing about pickleball? I don't know. I'm like, I want to go dressed as a pickle though.
It's been around, but it's very popular.
Well, Chris, we so appreciate what you and your entire team does to help us enjoy the parks, because I think that's the gem of our entire area. You guys do an amazing job. So thank you so much, and please extend our gratitude to you and your team as well.
Will do.
You know, and let them know, hey, kids, get out there, get a summer job, go work for the Parks Department.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm signed up for the B class this weekend. Is it this weekend or next weekend? So.
Okay, we'll see you out there.
Thanks again. We appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
That's going to do it for today's edition of The Splash Live. I want to say thank you to our guests for taking time to be with us, and to all of you, our friends, Sylvan Lake, Eagle Harbor, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield, for tuning in. And in case you didn't know, you can also catch The Splash Live on My Michigan TV, a new streaming service dedicated to telling the stories about the people and places across the state of Michigan. Happy day, everyone.